Hey, hello, how are you? I was wondering, do you ever work with a pendulum? Who out there works with a pendulum? This is what I'm talking about. It could be any kind of necklace, string, and you don't have to have a crystal. I like to use crystals. But as you can see, boop, oh, it moves around like that. So when you purchase one, when you have one, it's good to program it. And what I mean by that, it's good to set intentions into it. And also, you want to ask it, what is yes? What is no? Because a pendulum, see, what it's used for is to ask questions. This could be personal questions. And there's kind of a few things that go with it, in my opinion. Like, you want to ask your ego to step aside. You want to say, hey, ego, maybe step out of the room here for a minute. This is a connection with my higher self, with my higher consciousness, with source. Because sometimes the ego wants to interfere and tell you things you want to hear and this and that. So I start by asking my ego to have a seat. But when you first get the pendulum, you can ask, what does yes look like? And it could be clockwise. It could be counterclockwise. It could be, horizontal. It could be vertical. It could be either of these things, any of these things. So you could ask, what does yes look like? What does no look like? What does maybe look like? Okay. And I like with this one, I like to just, I set it. It's like, yes is a certain way, no is a certain way. I haven't asked that question again. I mean, you could do it any way you want. There's no rules to this, really. But the one thing that I do every single time I go to work with my pendulum is I ask, is it in my best interest right now to ask you questions? Like, I basically ask the pendulum if I can ask questions. And sometimes it will tell me no. And I've noticed that the times where it tells me no is usually when I'm more frantic or like desperate feeling for answers to things. And it's just like with the tarot, it's not really good to go into this with any kind of desperate vibes, because it's going to interfere with the energy. If your energy's all frantic, it probably doesn't really want to work with me when I'm frantic. So I ground myself, and then I work with my pendulum. It's pretty fantastic. If you haven't worked with one yet and you're interested, I highly suggest it. Like I said, I mean, you don't have to get all fancy with it. I gifted myself this necklace for Christmas, and this is one of my favorite crystals right here. So it's very special to me. I wear it all the time, but I also use it as my pendulum. I don't even want to say I use it. I work with it. Okay? But you don't have to wear it. It could be something that you put aside in a box somewhere. It could be a piece of string with any kind of, heavy weight. Because that's really what you're trying to do, is you just want it to move clockwise, counterclockwise. So once you know what yes means, once you know what no means, then you can work with it. So yeah, I hope that helps if you're new to this, and enjoy the journey.